like the music. We're doing it 3 times.
I think we had a skip.
It did it 3 times on my end, and it didn't work at all.
We have a DJ in the back. You know.
Look, I'm changing it up. All right.
We have a rapper.
Jason. Yeah, we're on a roll already.
We got Sideline Sports joining you again. John Shear, Jake Malik, just Dave. One day we'll get the name. Tonight we're not even going to try.
Yeah,
but
that was a good idea.
We got a special guest though tonight. But we're going to start with a guy who's going to be in the USFL, tried out for the Canadian League, just missed out due to the ratio of Canadians to Americans. Got a chance to see him work out at the National Scouting Combine. 6'1" center Jakari Robinson out of Bowling Green in Cincinnati. Jakari, welcome to the show.
How y'all doing, man? Appreciate y'all for having me on, man.
Thank you for your time
here.
We appreciate you coming out. Go ahead, Jake.
Before
do
we
it.
Start, you know I got to do it. Dave, I already know the answer, but for those at home who don't know, what kind of tacos you got today, buddy?
Oh, no. You don't know. You guess.
You told me what you have. You told me you had shrimp tacos.
Well, I did. Oh, I forgot. Here's the beauty.
I don't know.
Wait,
he's been
wait
drinking again.
And concussions. I can't remember what I did like 10 minutes ago. Let alone
That's what
last
alcohol
week.
does.
2 minutes ago.
Yeah, but hey, but you're right, man. I did. I brewed up some shrimp tacos, man, they're good.
Dave, I was thinking of you last night because I had fish tacos last night. A little cod, a little coleslaw, and I was thinking
Monday.
about you. So
I thought maybe you just always thought of me, but all right, that's good, Dave.
You know, but look, tacos are not exclusive to Tuesdays, JB. I'm just
you failed us.
Jakari.
I like to connect.
When the guys asked me to join them, right, with this,
I like that name.
I said, look, it's Tuesday night, and Tuesday nights, and this is I'm on West Coast, so it's dinner time. I go, I'm eating tacos. You know, it's just what I do Tuesday nights. And so you just got to know that every time I come on, I'm going to be in. So 1 week I missed, and everyone's like, "What are you eating? You ain't eating tacos no more?" I had them earlier, you know. So,
yeah, we had people like hounding him.
That's offensive
We thought there was something wrong.
Always.
So we're going to start out because I got the chance to see you work out at the National Scouting Combine. Jimmy Kibble runs a great program, you know, and I got a chance to see you there back in, I believe it was January, maybe February.
Yeah, towards the end of January.
Yeah, and you know, you were out there. You probably one of the best offensive linemen that were there. You know, you looked great on the field. You had that great Bowling Green helmet, which was pretty cool to look at. You know, you put up some good numbers. What happened right when you left the scouting combine? Like, what was the process like from there?
I mean, it was pretty cool. You know, from the moment I left there, you know, my name started buzzing, and I started talking to more people, and that's how I ended up going to the Edmonton Elks workout. I had met the scout at the National Scouting Combine, and I went there, and I did really good. Although they were looking for tackles, you know, just having the head coach come up to me after the camp and tell me, like, if we were signed to centers, then you'd have been signed tomorrow. I'm like, that was just a sign to me, just keep going and keep doing what I'm doing. And then I had pro day in March, and then I ended up signing with Calgary 2 days before the NFL draft. So it's been a crazy journey.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Are you versatile enough to play tackle or guard, or like what's really the difference? I mean, you're just playing offense. It's just offensive line. It's not like wide receiver, running back.
God, hold on. Before anybody says anything, hold on. Before we go any further, I need to do us all a favor and put this on the screen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dave, go into him, please.
I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. But so Jakari, unspoken words, we know. And you know, and at 6'1", center is a perfect position. Now,
no doubt.
My brother, I call my brother from San Diego State. This is back in the day. I mean, he played guard at 6'2". You know, that's possible. But 6'1" is a perfect position at center, right? I mean, you got the leverage. You're going up against nose guard. Someone's right up on you. Anyways, you need to be low. And
no doubt.
Yeah, and really, anything under 6'5" is not a tackle. It's just you got to have the long arms. You got to have the width and the spacing. So that's just kind of how that rolls out. But so were you in Indianapolis? Is that where you were?
You talking about for the National Scouting Combine?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I was there.
Yeah. What'd you think about that?
Oh, man, I loved it, man. I mean, it's just funny because, you know, I didn't really hear about it until December when I started talking to Jimmy. So I really had no idea what to expect. But just showing up, man, I felt like it was amazing. It was ran professional. I like how they didn't only have football players there. They had business people from just about every category you can think of. So I feel like it was a great experience for me because regardless of, I was at Cincinnati with Sauce Gardners and then other people who was done after college. You're gonna have to be done at this sport at some time. So I was grateful to be able to make those connections.
And it's
nice. I remember walking into that room, and I was 6'7", almost 6'7". I'm not anymore because I'm old and gravity is kicking my butt. So, but at the time, I was big, right? And I'm not used to walking into a room and then being eye to eye with everybody. And I'm talking like 50 dudes, right? I mean, it's like all of a sudden everything gets leveled out, right? Once you get invited to the combine, and that's it, and then all it all graduates from there. So that's what I'm saying. That was the experience is like you go from being the dude to being like one of many and just trying to compete.
And I like the National Scouting Combine that it gives folks like yourselves opportunities because they don't invite everybody, right? They don't invite everybody to the NFL Combine. And there's plenty of great players like yourself. Yeah, just because you're not at the NFL Combine doesn't mean you're not talented. Doesn't mean that you don't know how to play football. You know what I mean? So it's nice that you get an opportunity to showcase yourself, and then you're able to go and get yourself a job somewhere, whether it be NFL or wherever it may be, gives you an opportunity to go and get signed somewhere and get eyes on you. And so I just think that's great.
Did you play Canadian League last year or no?
No, I just finished up college this past December. So
so now USFL is going to be your first. USFL is going to be your first professional experience.
Yes, sir. Outside of I did 2 preseason games with Calgary. So
all right,
no doubt.
I'll tell you. What I love. I like these other leagues because I did a short stint in Seattle with the Seahawks. And then, it was just one of those things where I was just kind of, I took a year off. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then the World League of American Football came up, which turned into NFL Europe. It was only the World League for 2 years. And it was put together by the NFL owners as a spring league. And so I tried out. I just walked down there. But, man, it gave so many of us an opportunity to not only keep playing and get paid, but then I know a lot of guys that went on to continue to play. I had an opportunity and I declined it and I started to work. But the USFL and the XFL, I think, are fantastic avenues for guys, and they're giving them great opportunities. And it's decent money, right? So there's decent talent, there's decent money, there's TV, and you're getting to continue your career. So that's great.
No doubt, man. I totally agree. It's so many guys that get overlooked every year. So it gives other guys a chance to catch up. It's a lot of people out here that can play ball. So I'm looking forward to it.
And you just got to find that right team, that right dynamic. I played with a guy, Steve Largent, who was no one undrafted, Dallas Cowboys, let him go, picked up by Seattle, and Hall of Fame. So you just have to find that right fit for what you're doing. So what USFL team are you with?
I haven't figured out yet. I got cut by Calgary on June the 3rd, and then I signed with the USFL on June the 8th. They were trying to hop on me because, the XFL draft was the next week, so they were trying to make sure I was go ahead and sign because they're kind of competing for players. You know how that go. Yeah. But I should.
They're smart guys.
The championships are this Saturday, and then a lot of organizations gonna be making decisions and stuff. So I should be knowing pretty soon.
Be honest with me for a second.
God,
are you trying to go to Birmingham?
I mean,
are you interested?
Of course. I mean, I'm from Talladega. I'm from Talladega, Alabama, man. That's only 40 minutes away.
That's even better.
But at the same time,
they're going for what? This will be their second straight title, right?
Right.
If they already went right, I mean, how could you not want to go there? I mean, I had to ask. I was like, I think I know the answer, but
at the same time, I mean, I'm a football. I don't care what team I end up with. Like, my play is going to show. You know what I mean? Because I put in the work for it. So I really don't care what team I end up with, because playing for Birmingham would be good, but I ain't going to lie to you. It's going to feel just as good playing against them, because regardless of what happened, they're going to cut that tape on and be like, who is this guy? Like, why we didn't fight harder to get him?
I like the spirit. I like it. I like it. So speaking of that, hold on. What are you doing to separate yourself? I love to know these things, And Dave, I'm sure you can relate to what he's going to say, because you guys play the same position. So I'm curious. What are you doing?
the biggest thing with me is just really just trying to, improve my technique. And like you said, even though I'm too short to play tackle, I still take tackle sets. I take tackle guard sets. I really try to work on everything that I'm uncomfortable doing. Coming out of 3-point stance, although I know whoever gets me going to want me to mainly play center. So just working on that and just staying in that weight room, man, because a big part of my game is just, I'm a strong guy. Once I get a grip of you, then I like for it to be over with, regardless of who it is, So I think for me, just making sure that I strengthen what I'm good at, and I'm just trying to make myself uncomfortable at every point in work. Whatever I don't like doing in the workout, I do that the most.
So that's my biggest goal. Just to let you know, at the National Scouting Combine, they were doing 7-on-7s. After he was doing full contact, this man was on the field for like 10 quarters, 7-on-7s, no breaks. He was playing center, both sides, both ways. I was exhausted watching him. He was still out there 7-on-7s running.
JB, it doesn't have to make you feel exhausted. Probably. Let's just be honest together. Right?
I'm sure you're
a little bit
had
older.
A cigarette in 5 minutes. So
listen,
it was crazy out there though, because we was pretty much running scrimmages back to back, and we only had 7 linemen. So even though I know I never played tackle, I was bouncing from every position. And then whenever somebody got tired, I go to their position and tell them to knock somebody out, because I'm like, this is a lifetime experience. I'm gonna have to pass out on the field before I just take myself out. So I definitely take advantage of those reps.
That's a good attitude. Somebody's gonna be lucky to have you.
So I gotta ask. So, well, one thing, I understand that position envy thing. I always wanted to play center. We talked about this before, like height and all this stuff, and various positions within the line and the dynamic and how it works. I always wanted to play center, and I don't know why. But man, you know what? I was just too dang tall, and those nose guards are 5'10", 400 pounds, whatever they are, man. And they're like little jacks, man. They just spring and they prop you up, if you get a little bit high. And so, but I took the reps because I wanted, and I ended up playing my second season in Seattle, left guard. Nice. And I love that. I love being protected, going from being on that island, So, but you like the weight room. All right. So everyone's going to want to know, because anytime I speak anywhere, when I open it up to questions, it doesn't matter what I'm speaking about. Everyone wants to know how much I weigh and how much I benched, right? So that's what I want to know. When you're offensive lineman, how much you weigh? How much did you bench? How strong are you? So tell us what you're doing.
Last time, I can actually tell you all my max outs and exactly when. So last time I weighed in was probably about a week or two ago. I was 315. Last time I maxed out was, of course, in college around this time last year. On bench, I got around 420, 425 for 2. On squat, I got 620 for 2. Last time I maxed out on deadlift was 2020. Trap bar deadlift, I got 800. Straight bar deadlift, I got 600. Incline bench, I got 400 for 1. I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Legit.
JB, you talk about feeling tired watching him. I'm tired just thinking about him doing those weights.
Right.
I don't care if it's 1 rep or 100. Just the thought of at one point doing over 600 pounds for anything. I don't care if it was bench, squat,
and that wasn't my match.
Anything.
620 for 2 wasn't my match. My coach was just like, "You're strong. There's no point in
just the thought of that.
You get another 30. You get another 30, 40.
And that's on YouTube too, so that's documented. Y'all want to see it? Search Troy Robinson.
Well, I'll take a look. I'll take a look at the technique.
I will.
I'll grade you.
No doubt.
It's over 5 times my weight.
No doubt.
That's not saying much. You're
John,
like about this big, John.
Oh yeah.
I could curl you, John.
Yeah, but I'd kick your ass in football. So
yeah, I'm sure.
We played.
John, you say a lot of silly things.
I do.
That may have been the silliest. Dave will eat you.
So when you mentioned Birmingham, that was a team. The World League had a team in Birmingham. So we went down to Montreal, taking the bus through the neighborhoods, and the guys are going, "Oh, you don't know nothing about the hood, this and that." We went to a spot, and they go, "Hey, Dave, have you ever had a crawfish?" And I looked at it and I said, "Nope," and I'm not gonna. Mm-hmm. Well, they said so we had a few beers and we had buckets of the crawfish there, and they go, you eat the tail and you suck the head. I'm like, no, I ain't. Nope. But I had enough beers finally.
Ah, there you go.
Ate the tail, sucked the juice out of the head. I'm like, 2 buckets later, man, I'm down. I'm like, let's go. Whip on me, man. I'm like,
No
was
doubt.
so good. It's so good.
No, them things are good.
So what have you been doing to stay in football shape?
Mainly, I mean, the apartment complex where I stay at is literally a weight room and a weight room and a hot tub. So I've been in the weight room 24/7. You know, using the hot tub for recovery. I'm in Bowling Green. I'm still cool with the staff or whatever, so I can always go over to the field. And also my favorite thing, which is the hill, which I love to run up because I feel like when I run up that hill a certain amount of times, man, I never get tired. So I pretty much got all the resources, and even at all the schools I've been at, Cincinnati, Memphis, and Bowling Green, my face good. So I'm good to train anywhere.
Okay, so I've heard about the hill.
Oh yeah, it's pretty nice.
I've heard about the hill. Yeah,
No,
and I've seen cats training on the hill.
yeah,
That's terrifying. I want to see Jake train on the hill.
I would like to see Jake in person.
So hey, what about family and that? Jakari, your family's supportive of you, and how's that?
Oh yeah, so I mean they're very supportive of me. You know, my immediate family in Alabama and everything, man. They supportive and they just sit back because they know regardless I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna handle what I got to do. And then as far as family with me, I got a wife that I met at the University of Cincinnati and a 3-year-old daughter. So that's who's with me 24/7. So, you know, just really pretty much enjoy my family every day. But yeah, they're all supportive and, you know, happy for me because they all know what I can do, man. We just ready to show the world.
Right.
I love that.
So in college, right? You went to Cincinnati, you went to Bowling Green. You said you went to Memphis as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
You basically played, you know, against probably some of the best teams in college football throughout your time playing there. In Cincinnati, when they were on their way up to making the playoffs, you were there. So what was the one thing you take out of your college experience that's gotten you ready to be a pro?
So if I had to take one thing,
gotta take one. It's like Desert Island scenario. You can only choose one.
I guess. I mean, it's something I think I still need to improve, but I think the biggest thing is just practicing how you play. Because, you know, I was at Cincy for 4 years of my career, and just being there with all those, just about 75% of the starters I was practicing with every day, even the guys I'm going head to head with, are all in the NFL. And it's just funny, like looking back at it, thinking like practice really used to be crazy, man. You got Alec Pierce over here who start for the Colts going against Sauce every day, who start for the Jets. On the other side, you got Kobe Bryant who played for the Seahawks going against Trey Tucker, who just got drafted to the Raiders. Like Majay Sanders, DN, Curtis Bush got drafted to the Colts at nose guard. That's what I'm going against every day. So I think just practicing how you play. And if you're that guy, showing you're that guy every day. And, you know, that's easier said than done. And, you know, even I have to remind myself, like, practice is so much harder than the game. So it's like, if you can just get yourself to practicing, if you're feeling good in practice, you're going to murder the game. You know, it's so easy to forget, though, because in practice, you're like, man, like, how can I stop this? But, you know, the best thing about O-line in the game, they don't know the snap count. They don't, even if they figure out they don't know your calls. So they going to figure out when you bang that hip. But, you know, I think that's the biggest thing. I think just practicing how you play. Because if you're killing practice and you're feeling good in practice, and the game is nothing. The game, you train all year for that one game. So
Jakari,
absolutely.
You mentioned something. So I do Men in the Trenches with Jesse Sapolo, 15-year, four-time Super Bowl champ with the Niners. And we work with young men in the trenches, right? And that's exactly what I tell them. We have two advantages. We know where we're going and we know when we're going. And if you don't take a proper step, right? Like, you know, you see guys false step, drop in the bucket or whatever, and don't gain ground, you've lost one of your advantages. Because you're not gaining any ground on the guy in front of you who's going to be probably usually quicker and a little bit better athletes. I mean, defensive linemen, or linebackers, man, those guys can move, right? Defensive linemen especially. So if you don't take advantage of it, and people don't understand the intricacies of offensive line play, and you also mentioned calls, and people don't understand what that is, and that is when the offensive line speaks to each other. So for those of you that are listening that don't understand this dynamic, and I know you recognize this, is how big is our playbook? Our playbook is like this, right? Running backs are like this. 24 power, 2 back, 4 hole, it don't matter, right? You 2 back, 4 hole, that's where you go. Pass plays, you run that route regardless of, whatever, unless there's a blitz adjust, whatever. But for offensive linemen, that 24 power is blocked 5 or 6 different ways, predicated on the defensive front. And those guys move. So our calls could be one call saying we're going to block it one way. And on the second hut, those guys shift. We have got to be able to go like that and be able to fly and adjust on the fly. And that's why it's so hard for offensive linemen to make it. And so you brought up some really valid points and some big points as far as the intricacy of this game that people just don't see when they're watching. They just figure us big guys are pushing those big guys, and that's all that's going on. But there's a lot happening within the 5 guys in that unit. And that's really important.
No, if you're not in unison, if you guys aren't in unison, you've seen it many times. Yep. I mean, the quarterback is going to get killed. The running back's going to get blown up. Like if you guys aren't in unison, or if the quarterback is trying to get the line to protect one way, and somebody misreads it, that's when you see like somebody come free off the other side that shouldn't have happened.
Which is usually the back. Was usually the back who didn't go the right way, right?
Nah, that's right.
Everyone blames the offensive line, and the back is supposed to go, and then the back goes the wrong way, and then the offensive line gets blamed because the quarterback gets sacked. Right?
Every time.
So Jakari, how do you deal with stunts? Like when somebody, like, do you see that coming? Like, how do you call out to your offensive lineman that a stunt is happening, or do you just all know? Like, how does that work? Because we've seen this so many times watching an NFL game where the announcers are like, they did a stunt, and then this guy went this way, this guy went that way, and then the offensive linemen were confused, and it created a hole, and quarterback got sacked.
I mean, really, I think the biggest thing, especially O-line, is just, just like he was talking about pre-snap alignment and stuff, you just seeing little stuff, you know what I mean? The thing about that is, though, the higher level you get, the harder it is to see. In college, you're going to see that D lineman leaning, like, okay, he's going to cross my face or something's going to happen. Or you're going to see, certain alignments and stuff to let you know, like, even if it's not coming, you still going to yell it out, like, watch for stunts, just so your O-lineman know if it do come. But it's like, that's just something you really just have to keep watching film on and anticipate. And really, you can still watch all the film you want to, but when you're playing Aaron Donald, you might just get beat by a stunt.
That's the first name. That's the first name that came to my mind when John's talking about this. But one other thing is it's all about technique, John. It's about levels, and we practice stunts, and as soon as you get us on different levels, then we're susceptible to that stunt happening. And if we're not, in like Jakari was saying, as soon as your guy goes one way, well, that means he's given up his responsibility. That means somebody else is coming. So you got to be smart. You can't just walk on, and it's got to be head on a pivot and see what's moving. But when you've got name's gonna elude me. The long-haired guy from Pittsburgh, the Palomalu. That guy would come from anywhere. And hey, good luck reading that.
Jump over the line. Like, how do you deal with him jumping over the line?
Exactly. You can't. At my senior year at San Diego State, we're playing UCLA, and they were bringing their All-American safety who ended up playing linebacker. Doggone it! Once again. Jakari, you're going to recognize this when you're 59. The concussions will settle in, your age will settle in. You'll forget who the heck you're talking about. Anyways, it'll come to me when the podcast is over. But anyways, they're bringing him off the edge, and the coaches said, "Well, block your guy and chip off on the All-American who's coming off the edge." It didn't work. It didn't. Yeah, it wasn't good.
It's not easy to do.
Well, it's impossible. So
not easy to do it.
We're asked to do the impossible. That's the other thing. The offensive line is the most we're backpedaling and we're chasing guys 280, 300 pounds that run 4.6s. Every other position on that field is run. Just go forward, run as fast as you can and get to where you're supposed to be. Offensive linemen, we're supposed to backpedal and do a kick slide, these crazy steps, these crazy techniques, and stop these amazing athletes. So especially as center, where you've got not only to worry about the guy that's breathing right over your face, but you got to get the ball to your quarterback. You've got to be the captain calling out the coverages or where the blitz might be coming from or wherever strength is or whatever it is. So being a center, guys, there is a lot of responsibility to that position.
And it's funny with all that hard stuff, and after making all those calls, it's funny. The easiest thing that you can forget is the snap count. You make all them calls, and you think you're good, and before you know it, you just hear go, and you like, oh, should I snap it? If I don't want to get a false start, like, so it's just crazy. And also like what you said too, because it's like, it's funny. Even when I was at Cincinnati, one guy who used to come up to me all the time was Kobe Bryant, bro. Like, he had appreciation for how hard our work was, because it's like, if you think about it, the only people who know how we feel are DBs. You're backpedaling while somebody is running at you full speed, and you're supposed to stop that somehow. So, no, it's just interesting, man.
Yeah. So you entered the portal. Did you enter the portal to transition then from Cincinnati to the other school?
Yes, sir. I was at Cincy from 2017. I came in with Desmond Ridder, Kobe Bryant, all those guys to help turn the program around. My last game at Cincy was 2020 versus Georgia. So I got to play Jalen Carter, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt, all those guys, and I transferred to Memphis. And
so why did you do that?
Because honestly, I mean, 2020 was my third year starting. I was going on a 3-year starter, and honestly, I got COVID mid-season, so I missed 2 weeks of not doing nothing. And as you know, 2 weeks, you miss 2 weeks during the season, it's very hard to come back. Of course, I wasn't gonna come back and just get my spot back or whatever. And honestly, with COVID and everything, really my emotions really got the best of me, and I'm just like, man, like, ain't no way, I came back. And, you go from being that guy to I got nominated for the Remington Trophy while I was in quarantine.
Wow.
So you come back and you go from being that guy and now you're on the bench. You know what I mean? And it ain't no hate because, shout out to my backup. My boy came in, freshman All-American. He just transferred to Wisconsin. He stay healthy. He going to be drafted this year. But, my world just changed, man. And I'm just, how I was young and I'm just like, man, forget this. I'll go play somewhere. And as you know, the portal has its ups. It's 1,000 places I could have picked, and it would have went right. But of course, I went to Memphis, and it turned out not being the situation I thought it was. They had a guy, and that was really the emergency plan. So, it was just crazy, the lessons you learn in life and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, did you experience the benefits of NIL at all?
Honestly, I had some. Of course, I'm not no 100K followers, 10K followers guy, but I did have some opportunities for NIL, but for the most part, I didn't care because I'm like, I seen for some people it was cool, but I seen a lot of people getting distracted. I'm like, y'all more worried about getting deals than y'all worried about putting in work. And at the end of the day, the best NIL is doing what you do on game day. If you're not All-American,
I love it, man.
I like that. That's a good attitude.
PFL, you know what I mean? So
I told you guys we're going to love Jakari.
I
didn't question it.
JB, I was just about to give you props on that because I'll tell you what, of all the things that we touched on, that by far was the best answer, and I'm not heard any young man share that point of view. I dig it.
It's very a mature response. I do agree.
And no disrespect to all the guys. Like if you got it, if you got that clout behind you, take advantage. But for the rest of us,
plenty of guys just. They hear dollar signs. That's all they
like you making.
That's it.
You making $20 off of shirts, and you letting that distract you from your actual play. Like that's not worth it. If you're one of them guys and you got them deals rolling in, do what you do. But if you ain't that, you better just focus on playing better. And if you play better, you're gonna get better deals. Even
if you are one of those guys, you should still let your play speak for itself.
Football's still number one. You're a football player, no doubt.
That's right. Because you know what? What are teams coming after you for? For your money that you're making on your name, image, and likeness, or your ability to play the game?
Right.
We all know the answer to that. Yes, you can make $1 million off the field. If you stink on the field and you're worried about the money, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to care about you, and nobody's going to care about you in a minute.
Hey, Jakari, are there any Southern California USFL teams?
Not yet. Not yet, okay. But also Dave, I've been hearing it's not official yet, but they're supposed to be adding for some more teams. So
all right,
I guess I
was going to try out.
Hey, why not?
Give me the next Jack and Moon, Dave.
I tried out for the LA Kiss. You might be too young. When I was 52. That was like 6 years ago. I was like 350 still. I was still like But man, I'll tell you what. After warm-ups, I almost swallowed my tongue. I mean, I was like, "Holy smoke, man! I can't. I can lift. I can play football, but I can't run. I can't do none of this stuff." But the reason I was asking is because if you did end up out here, you got to let us know. Let us know where you end up.
Yeah,
for sure.
No doubt.
He definitely will
help you connect with the network. We have a network of people all over the country, and I know dudes all over the country. Anything we can do, because it's been a pleasure speaking with you, man. You've got the right idea and the right approach to stuff, and I just wish you the best. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, for sure.
I wish y'all the best too, man. I really appreciate y'all having me, man. I can talk football anytime, especially with you guys.
All right.
We'll have you back on during football season.
Yeah, you're always welcome on, man.
No doubt.
All right, man. It was a pleasure. We look forward to see where you end up, bro.
Oh yes, sir. I'll definitely make sure I stay in touch with y'all, man.
Yep.
All right.
Best of luck.
Take care, Jakari.
All right.
You got me dizzy going at the end there, man. You feel
right?
You started spinning me around like a top, man. I was like, what the heck's going on? Hey, great kid. JB, good find, man. That's a good kid.
I'm telling you, he was so impressive during the combine. I just, him, and then the NFL combine, Sam Laporte, that dude with that answer about the Iowa's Children's Hospital.
Iowa,
The fact that the dude had tears in his eyes.
I saw that.
It was so genuine.
Didn't he end up with the Lions or whatever?
Yes.
He's the one that ended up with the Lions.
It's the right team to end up with, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean that career. I think
they have a huge upside.
No, but I was going to say Dan Campbell is he's gonna be a good coach for this kind of guy. He's gonna get the best out of him because that kid seems like a kid that's gonna put his heart and soul into everything. That's what Dan Campbell expects as a coach from what we see. So I agree. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. It's stuff you like. It's stuff that makes you happy to see. All right, fine. I'll take the reins. That's okay.
I'll give you the transition.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
What's next on the agenda?
Yeah, well, JB wasn't here last week, and he missed some important basketball talk. John, did we all see that? John turned into Eric. I was very confused.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't even understand how that happened.
I don't know either. Anyway, you missed some good conversation last week about basketball, and more news comes out, of course, after the show. And we say this every time as a joke, but it's true. Every time we finish a show, something comes out that we couldn't talk about that week. So CP3 is now on the Golden State Warriors, and I feel like we need to talk about this because I feel like there's a lot of people that really don't like this move. And I got to be honest, I don't think those people really understand what's happening in Golden State. And so I'd like to discuss and first get your thoughts before I give my my opinion, because I think it's a lot better than people give it credit for. But that's not here nor there right now. So JB, I'll start with you. What are you thinking about this? CP3, Jordan Poole swapping teams.
Listen, if you get CP3 for Jordan Poole, why wouldn't you take CP3? And now you can always play two of your three guards and give one of them a rest, and you have two.
That's right.
Out of the three are always all-stars at top of the game. Why would you not want to do it? Yes, they're getting older, and CP3 is the oldest, but still, think about it. When you have your choice, Steph, Clay, or CP3, you can run two of the three of them out the whole game pretty much, and then have rest. Now, if you fill up your front court, you got a quality team. I don't think that's a bad move at all, just to give up Poole.
I'm
glad you understand what I think, JB. John,
I've never truly. No, I've never truly believed. First of all, if you're going to bring back Draymond, you had to get rid of Poole, because Poole punched him in the face before the season started. So like that, even Steve.
There's
Kerr
more
admitted,
to it, but yeah.
Steve Kerr admitted after the season, this past season that just happened, he admitted that hung over the team all season. That Poole punching him hung over the team all season. And I particularly never thought Poole was anything special. I thought he was an okay player, but I never thought that he was going to be the heir apparent to like Steph Curry or anything like that. I just never saw it personally. So I'm not opposed to that. CP3 is going to go to the Hall of Fame one day. He's a veteran. He's a great leader in the locker room. Why would you not do this? You're at the end of this prime of the run. You're at the end of this run with Steph Curry and them. You've got maybe 2 more years before you have to break it all down. So you might as well go for it, because Curry's I mean, like I said, him, Clay, Draymond, they only got maybe 2 more years at most together, and then they're going to be too old. You know what I'm saying? Like where this dynasty can't do it anymore. Like where they can't, you know what I'm saying? Where they can't play at that level of championship basketball. So I think you have to go for it by adding CP3.
Dave, do you have any other things you want to add?
Well, I heard John keep saying too old, too old, too old. Are they going to let him take his walker out on the court and play with his walker?
All right, I knew somebody would comment about them being old and have something negative to say.
Well, yeah, some of these guys just got to retire. Just go to the sunset, man. You've made your money. You had a great career. Like John said, he's Hall of Fame. Absolutely. And he was fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
But man, I don't like watching cats struggle. It's kind of like, just let it go. Just do your thing. But it could be worse for Golden State. Yeah. So to have a proven Hall of Famer on your bench sitting there, and he'll be a positive deal for the team. Yeah, but man, he's just old.
That's the biggest thing, Dave, that you just said. He's coming off the bench. You know what? It's not the worst thing. You have a good facilitator for the second team.
We've seen guys come off the bench and do nothing.
Okay.
A lot of them.
CP3. Are you saying CP3? Are you saying CP3 is like a lot of guys?
Oh, like Carmelo, like the glove.
When did Carmelo come off the bench and be a facilitator? Ever?
I think it wasn't with the Lakers. Like
hold on. Listen to what I said. When did he come off the bench and be a facilitator?
Well,
the answer is never, because Carmelo Anthony could not play without the ball in his hand.
5-syllable words, okay? So you got to keep it simple with me, bro. 5-syllable words are beyond my scope.
Okay. When did Carmelo Anthony come off
contributing?
No.
Be important.
No. When did Carmelo Anthony come off the bench
and
give the ball to other people?
Yeah.
Never. No, that's why I love this move, because you know what? Jordan Poole, he's talented, don't get me wrong. But the reason that the Draymond punch happened all comes back to he wouldn't shut his mouth. He was acting like some big tough guy, and Steph and Clay were just not going to have it. And Draymond said, "You know what? Fine, I'll take it into my own hands. I'm going to beat you for what you said." And so he did. And you know what? Nobody. I don't believe anybody was upset that he did it. He was a ticking time bomb. It was a matter of time before he got the boot. It was going to be him. And I like CP3. I like the addition mainly just because, it gives them a guy to run the second team offense. It's another adult in the room. It's a smart guy, and I get it. He's slow, and that's not great.
But he doesn't have to be the starter.
He's a bench player.
He's got to be able to play defense.
I mean, if you give him 20 minutes, I think he can handle himself.
Hold on.
20 minutes, solid play.
To Dave's point, and I was figuring somebody would bring this up. You can make that argument all you want, but there's one really important thing you have to think about. Jordan Poole, although he is younger, he is faster, he could play better defense, he was a turnover machine. He gave the ball away a lot. So just think about it like this for a second. And this is, I think, the way that the Warriors are going to try and look at it. Jordan Poole, let's say he makes 3 defensive stops in a game, but gives up 6 turnovers throughout the game. He's got a -3 between those two. CP3 is not going to give the ball over. That's not what he does. He's not going to make stops, but he's going to keep those. He's going to stop the turnovers.
But he's crafty.
He's going to create. So he's going to create offense.
Yeah.
But so that's the thing. So for all the defense he maybe doesn't play, he's going to limit turnovers and create more offense.
Okay, so he's better. He's better than Poole. I'll give you that.
For what they need, I think right now, yes.
All right. But
I think Poole is the more talented player right now.
But he should retire. That's my point. But he's better than Poole, but he should retire.
All right. Well, that's not the conversation. But you know what? I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that. I don't disagree.
It's my conversation, and I'm having it. So
listen, CP3 is going to play until his son gets into the NBA. Oh, that's LeBron. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's LeBron. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Hanging on by a thread.
What's the difference between the two? I don't see.
LeBron's won some championships. That's the difference.
This is true. This is true. Now, I also don't think the Warriors are not done. By the way, there's more moves to come. I am certain of that.
Are there? What's coming?
Well, they're going to re-sign Draymond first of all.
Well, we know that.
So that's
what moves are they making?
Well, I don't know that they will, but I hope they do. I hope they get rid of. Well, I'm going to probably get backlash for saying this. I'm going to say it anyway. I hope they get rid of Klay Thompson. I'm sorry. He's so useless.
Really?
What does he do for this team anymore?
You want to get rid of Klay?
Why are you saying don't get rid of Klay? I'm fairly.
I didn't say don't get rid of Klay. I didn't say don't get rid of Klay.
He said he asked why.
Why would you want to get rid of Klay?
Why get rid of him? Because he doesn't add anything to his team anymore. He's taking away shots from other guys, and he's not making. It's not like he's taking away shots and making them. He's taking away shots and just missing. He is detracting from the team. He is getting older. He is
the same
not
player he's always
playing.
been.
No, he's not the same.
Hey, when he's on fire, he's unstoppable. When he's on fire, he's unstoppable. But man,
exactly what Dave just said.
When
he comes up small in the playoffs.
But all right, hold on. 3 years ago, if I gave Klay the ball, raise your hand if you trust him to make that three to potentially win the game. 3 years ago.
Not me.
You don't trust him to make a three.
You're the only one with the hand up. Now, if you said Steph, I think we all have our hands up.
Oh, if you said Steph, I mean, my hands go way up.
Yeah.
All right.
Klay is when he's on fire, yeah. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, but the difference is 3 years ago, Klay would be on fire more times than not if I needed him.
But how often in NBA Jam did you used to get on fire? Not all the time. So, come on.
NBA Jam.
That's realistic.
Yeah,
NBA
that's
Jam.
good. Because I meant really being literally on fire, John. Thank you.
Jake doesn't know what NBA Jam is. He's too young for it.
You know,
never played the arcade machine where you're playing NBA Jam.
Oh, and the flame comes off the ball and the net's on fire. Yeah. Come on,
why are you always?
You're too young.
Just because I'm young doesn't mean I don't know things.
You don't know. You're young.
That's not true. Well, what do you?
Is it the shoes?
I'm confused with where we've gone tonight.
I don't know either.
Is Raphael coming on? Is Raphael coming on?
No, he's stuck in Phoenix.
All right. Well, I got to task him to figure out how to put odds on what tacos I'm going to eat. All right. So we're not going to get that. Because there's got to be some statistics by now. We've got some back shows like how many times am I eating carne asada, carnitas, shrimp. Sure. I did pull out potato. I did pull out lengua once. And so, what are the odds? So you guys could chip in.
Those are high odds.
$5 and see who wins, and then we'll donate to a charity or something. Hey,
nice.
All right, I'm looking at this thing. Most NFL losses in the past 20 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Quarterback or team?
Are we talking about teams?
Teams or quarterbacks?
No,
20 years.
Teams.
No,
most losses in the past 20 years.
No, because Parcells was there for.
I would say the Browns.
Yeah, I think I'm between the Browns
and the Lions.
You got to pick one.
The Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Browns though because
I'll say the Lions.
There was a 2-year
all right,
span with the Browns.
Hey guys, those are the top two. Hey, but what's number 3? What's number 3?
Well, hold on. Who was number 1?
Browns.
And who?
Okay, good. So it was Browns Lions.
Yep.
Okay.
So and it's 222, 216 Lions. Who's number 3?
Wow.
Most losses. That's 20 years. You'll never get it.
It's not the Jets because the Jets had a streak.
No, the Jets had that string with Parcells.
Yeah, the Jets are. Hey, the Jets
and Mark Sanchez brought them to the playoffs.
The Jets are in the top.
They were good.
Jets are in the top 8 with most.
Yeah, they were. No, they were.
Number 3.
You know what?
Hold on,
and you say we'll never get it because I like to say Jacksonville, but we'll never get it. That would be an obvious choice.
Wow.
I was going to Texans.
I'm going to tell you that's number 4.
Okay.
Texans.
I was thinking the Texans, but I don't think it's them.
That's your guess. John, Jake. Throw it up. Give me a name.
I'm going to let John go first.
I'm going to go Texans.
Texans are number 7.
Oh. All right.
Evil man.
You know what?
This game.
No, I'm gonna go Washington.
Oh, wrong go.
They had some years where we made the playoffs with Kirk.
Yeah, they had some decent years.
They were but they have also had some really not so great seasons. So I'm trying to think outside the box here.
The Commanders are number 5.
See, not such a bad guess.
I was saying, you never got it. Raiders, number 3.
I was thinking Raiders the whole time.
They were up there.
Raiders, number 3. Yeah, they've had a horrible run. All right. So conversely, team with the least number of losses last 20 years.
Oh, New England.
That's easy. The Patriots.
New England.
Right.
Number 1 is that's.
All right. So, I think it'd be pretty easy. Actually, who's number 2?
Green Bay.
Probably the Colts. It's either Colts or Steelers. I'm going to go with Colts.
Okay, so Green Bay's number 3.
Okay.
I'm going to go San Fran.
San Fran
I'm going.
Wait. Let's go San Fran. Oh my gosh, they're like, actually, they're 8, 10, 12. They're 14th with the most losses in the last 20 years.
Really?
Wow.
A lot of
Yes.
really
They're
good years.
the top third with most losses, 178 losses.
I am sticking
with all the
the
good
Colts.
years they've had.
Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck. The last couple of years have been bad, but
Colts number 4. Jake.
my logic was so good.
Jake, you
is it Steelers?
Steelers number 2.
Okay, I can see that because
the Seahawks
they never go
number 7 in the last 20 years.
The thing is, the Steelers never go under 500.
Yes.
But they have seasons where they're like just above. So
congratulations, you're coached by Jeff Fisher. Congratulations, Jeff Fisher's your head coach.
Who's that?
Want a cookie?
What are you talking about?
Jeff Fisher, Mr. Mediocre, Mr. 8-8.
Where?
That's
like congratulations. The Steelers are coached.
Are you saying Mike Tomlin is Jeff Fisher?
Yes, I am.
The man who's never had a losing season.
Eyes checked.
He's the most overrated coach I've ever seen in my life.
John,
never had a losing season.
Overrated?
Wait, guys.
Mr. Fisher.
Dave, what?
I hate to say this. I hate it. It's going to come back to bite me. I agree with John.
Oh, don't you dare say
it.
No.
I have never liked him. His time management is horrible. His time management at the end of games is horrible. He doesn't have control over his players, and I think John is right.
Look at his record in the last 10 years.
You realize he had an undefeated season with Duck Dynasty playing quarterback.
That's not undefeated. They were 11-0. Then they lost games and lost in the first game they played in the playoffs. They got their ass kicked.
I agreed with John.
Wow, this is so bad, Jake. We've lost control of the show.
I've looked up the numbers of Mike Tomlin.
I'm so sad.
Against delegated John, we're screwed.
I don't want to listen to this because Mike
listen
Tomlin
to this.
is a
I looked
Hall
up
of
the
Fame
numbers.
coach, and you can't change my mind.
He took over Bill Cowher's team, which was an absolute amazing team. He took over a team with Ben Roethlisberger, Hines Ward, all them guys. He took over an amazing team. He went to a Super Bowl loss. Since he lost that team, since he had to build his own team, they haven't been good. They haven't been good at all.
He's not the GM.
Middle of the road. Since 2011 to now.
All right, John. You win. I got you, man. I got you.
He's so overrated. I'm tired of people like
Jake. What do I send my resignation to?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did I make a mistake?
No,
you did. You really did.
You're a perfect person, right?
How can you say somebody that's never gone under 500? That doesn't mean he has only 500. It means he has a minimum of a 500 record. He has many seasons, though, most of which he's coached, have been above 500, which is a pretty good thing.
He's been in a division with the Browns. The Browns and the Bengals have only been.
Don't you dare say the Bengals.
They were bad for a while.
The Bengals had plenty of good seasons with Andy Dalton. Don't you dare give me that garbage.
They had a lot of decent seasons. The Ravens have been unbelievable.
They were bad.
Let me tell you where the Bengals have been. Hang on, I deleted it. I'll be back.
The Bengals had some good seasons, not a lot, but they had, I think, a 5-6 year run where they were solid. Like they were, Andy Dalton had a winning record with them.
While he's looking that up in Las Vegas this year,
Bengals.
Here we go.
172 losses, which ranks them 17. So just about halfway up.
Yeah,
so, and that's what I said. They had a couple good seasons.
Browns number 1, and then who else is in the division?
The Ravens.
And the Ravens
have been really good.
The Ravens are like in the bottom. Yeah, they're like they're like 6th least number of losses. So
by the way, Jeff Fisher Jr.'s postseason records 8-9 in the playoffs. Just so you know, 0-1 in the Super Bowl. Congratulations!
I'd like to point out, because John, of course, likes to poke fun. The Ravens have won the division quite a few times, but the Bengals, excluding Joe Burrow, still won the division twice in 13 and 15. What's with the attitude? 2 times. It's the point I'm making is you act like they were a dumpster fire. They had some good seasons. I didn't say that they were
Jake,
like the
if you
greatest
had
team to
sex
ever walk
2
the
times
earth.
in your life, do you brag about it? No.
What did you say?
I said if you have sex just 2 times in your life, do you brag about it? No.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Wow.
I don't
brag
think anyone
about
wants
a
to know.
number that low.
I'm confused about how this has to do with anything with the
Golly.
NFL.
I'm not certain how that has to do with this. I think you're
just
missing the point I'm
saying,
making, which
It's not
is
something
just
to brag about.
all the point I'm just making is that you act like the Steelers are like the kings of this division and there's nobody else. You had the Bengals who had a stretch of good years with Andy Dalton, and you have
And
the
the
Ravens
Ravens
who
who've
are
been unbelievable.
consistently good with one of the other best
and
coaches
the
in the league.
Browns had the most amount of losses since 2000.
So what
Hello?
does that prove, John? You have one bad team out of 4, and so all of a sudden, they must be the best. Then why? You know what? No. Why have your Dolphins been so garbage?
Oh,
for
wait,
so
wait,
many
Dolphins.
years?
Wait.
Your division
Let me
stinks
recover.
outside of New England. Don't give me that. Your division stinks outside of New England, and you know it. No. So you tell me, why have the Dolphins not won the division war? Tom Brady left a couple of years ago. Why haven't they won, John? Tell me.
They have won.
I said Tom Brady left. Why haven't you won?
Well, I mean, the Bills have been
Oh, here we go. He's got nothing. So what that proves is exactly my point, which is just because one team is really bad doesn't nullify other teams being good.
Jake,
The fact
Browns
that you're
won
trying to sit
one
here and
game.
argue that's not the
They won
point. So,
game in 2
so
years.
how many times the Steelers play the Browns per year?
Twice. That's 2 free wins.
So they guaranteed 2 wins. That's it. That doesn't mean anything.
So that means
It's
Mike
like they play
Tomlin's
them
even
every week.
worse.
John, if they played them every week, I'd go, you know what? You got a great point. They should have won the division.
This
So what
is
you're
just funny.
saying,
But guess
Hey,
what?
Mission
They played them
accomplished, baby.
twice.
Mission accomplished.
I love this. I'm just sitting back watching.
so Mike Tomlin, the guy we say that's Mr. Average 8-8. So we can knock
No,
him down by
but
2
he's
wins
not-
a year.
I
He's
really
not
don't
Mr.
brag.
Average.
He's not
You
Mr.
know what,
Average.
John,
He's just
do me
never-
a favor. No, hold on. Do me a favor. Any of you, but John specifically, I would like to do it. But if you guys can, that would be
Sure.
great. Find another coach in the history of coaching that has had every single season of their career for, let's call it 12 plus years. I think that's fair. 12 plus years where they have not had a single season under 500. Just find me one more. That's
we
not
talking
Mike
about-
Tomlin.
Are we talking about any type of professional?
No,
league, college?
in football.
Are we
In
looking
football.
up
I'm saying
all-
any
all
other football
coaches
coach.
in the
Because I
history
have
of the
somebody in
game?
the NCAA,
Oh, well, that's, yeah.
Mike Anderson. He's one of the.
Well, no,
I think the
I'm
only one to
talking
do that.
about football. Like football, NFL. Find me another one.
Dolphins come in 10th.
Wow,
Thank
double
you.
digits.
Top 10,
double
maybe.
digits.
Top
Mm.
10.
Double digits.
Yeah, well, you know what? You know what the Steelers were? Second. You know what, John? Your team sucks.
No.
And you should have won more because you got some bad
Wait,
teams.
Jake.
Top 10.
No, they were on the top 10 of the negative side.
Yeah, but top
Most
10.
I know.
Most losses.
We'll be
That's-
jealous.
oh.
Top 10, baby.
So
Winning.
hold on.
Jealous?
So, John,
Winning.
so you mean to tell me in a really bad division, you sucked anyway?
It wasn't really bad.
Oh, it was
Whoa,
bad.
But it was. Who was
Patriots
really
are-
good? Besides, so
6.
New England was really good. Hold on. New England was really good. So
They won
that means
6
you guys
Super Bowls.
is an excuse to be terrible? I don't think so.
I mean, they might be the greatest team, greatest
But
dynasty.
no, but you know what,
possibly ever.
John?
That's 2
Hold on.
losses, John. Wait, that's 2.
That's
You rank it
No,
in the
that's
top
right.
10 total
that's
losses.
2 losses
yeah,
every
we all-
year. That's it.
No,
It's
to
the
the
same-
Patriots.
On the
No.
Pittsburgh side, it's 2.
John, you just lost the argument
No,
because your
no,
argument against
normally we
Pittsburgh
split.
was where the Browns were terrible
Yeah.
and the Steelers only play them twice. So the Steelers should have been better, right? But when it happens to the Dolphins, you're Miami Dolphins, the team that
Normally we
hasn't won
split with
anything
the
in like
Patriots.
50 years. Okay. When it happens to your Miami Dolphins and there's one team that is not really bad, but instead really good, all of a sudden it's excusable because, they're one of the greatest teams to ever play. I
Yeah,
don't
that
wanna
kind of makes
hear
a
it.
difference. It's one of
No,
the
it
greatest teams in
doesn't.
the history
You
of the
only play them
sport.
twice, John.
They won
If it's the
6
best
Super
team
Bowls.
versus the worst team, you get beat up on or you beat up on them. Either way, it's only 2 games. So what's your excuse for the other
Because that team always won like
10 plus
14
games that you don't win?
How are you supposed to
What
win?
is your excuse? Tell me.
How are you supposed to win when that team's winning like 14 games a year?
Win 15.
And they're always in the AFC Championship
John,
or the
hold
Super Bowl.
on. I didn't ask you about winning division. John, you are bottom 10 in wins, technically. You are
top.
Yeah, I've already lived those.
It would be bottom 10 in wins. It would be bottom 10.
I've already lived those losses. I don't have to.
So John, so I just want to know. I just want to ask you though, just because they're winning 15 games, why aren't you guys winning 8, 9, 10 games? Just keeping
11,
around 500.
12.
What's your excuse?
Because they've over those 20 years, they've had 18 quarterbacks. So
18 quarterbacks, awful GMs.
I'm just, I'm only asking.
Coaches,
no,
I will tell you though, I love Miami right now. And really, I told you guys I got to hang out with Tron Armstead, which I love that kid. They have a lot of talent, and they're gonna be fun to watch. I think they've got a good chance. They got a great coach. That guy's a trip.
Mike McDaniels.
You have to admit, as far as head coaches go, that guy's taking a whole different approach.
John, you look like him, by the way.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, no, and I'll tell you what, that's a smart dude with a whole different approach to this game, and it's working.
Or him, I said,
and it's working.
But just I want to wrap up my point, and then we got to.
You've already your point's done, Jake.
John, you lost because your argument got completely proved incorrectly, and I just wanted to tell you, you're wrong. That's all. I just wanted to tell you.
Why don't you wear your fantasy football championship plastic ring again and tell me that?
All right. A moment of seriousness. Before we wrap up. Let's just,
You're wrong.
All right. Hang on. Let's give Ryan Mallett, family and friends, thoughts and prayers as Ryan Mallett passed away, drowning in Florida. Sad to hear, 35 years old. And not good to hear, but let's wrap the show on that.
That's fair. You know what? I want to wrap things on a positive note if we can. Like an actual positive note. Like seriously.
There's plenty of positives.
This is genuine. Dave, how is Anne-Marie doing? That's what I wanted to ask you. You talked about her last week on the show, so everybody heard about it. I wanted to, for the people at home.
So last week we were going into surgery. She had surgery on Wednesday, brought her home Friday, in a lot of pain. Any of those that are praying, we're just praying for a negative pathology report right now. We haven't heard back yet. Typically in that kind of sense, no news is good news. Because if it was negative, they'd be right on it. So we should hear by no later than tomorrow. And that's where the prayers are pointed towards. Otherwise, just normal healing from a really difficult surgery. And I thank you guys all for your kind words and support and things you guys have done to help us.
Absolutely. And on that note, everybody have a good one. John, you're wrong, and we'll see you next time.